meeting and yesterday, and what all I did was, this is my website, actionresearch.net, and if you go into here, you'll see all over the world researchers, for example, from India, Swarup Rawal, and all you do is you go through, I'll just cancel that, but you can go into these and you'll see them all come up with different, you can enlarge them. But I could just go through these and say, look, at the town hall meeting yesterday, from India, at 3 o'clock in the morning in India, Swarup Rawal actually talked about what she was actually doing with 8,000 teachers in Gujarat in terms of trying to enable the teachers to improve the quality of the lives with their students.
And they're not all academics, they're not all people working at a university. These are real people in real lives who are doing research with community, in the community, as part of the community, right?
Absolutely. Each one of these is a network. This one here was fantastic. If you go into this guy's website, his son died 2 years ago. Well, it was only a year ago when he was 36, his son. It's called Peter Mallet. And he's done this amazing work based on his son's commitment to ecologically driven contexts around the world. And it's one of the best web pages I've ever seen created, and he's done it for me to bring and say, look, people can access this. The Blue Water Action Research Network, now that's actually presenting next door, okay? But you can go through each of these and you'll see, from Sweden, there's one, Albania, but they are the people that, like yourselves, as you talked, all I've been doing is encouraging these narratives to come, and I valued the academy so much, I want to change the nature of the knowledge, so that the pressure that you feel under actually can give way a bit to the co-creation together. And that's what quite a lot of these living posters from around the world have actually done. So that's really all I hope that I've actually stimulated you to think about, which is how do we co-create our stories? And so that not just narratives, they're actually focused on the practical issues, grounded in what you've been saying, because critical theory gives you the insight that the inequalities in the world, which have been created through economic inequalities affecting everybody on the globe, 80 people I think it is, own the wealth of over 3.5 billion. Right? Now that's the kind of inequality we're living in, which the critical theory gives you an understanding of. But it's almost like, I'd love just to develop and hear some of the stories that you're actually producing with Paula as you focus on what can we do in our contexts to improve the quality of our lives. And really that's all I wanted to do in this session.
How did you get to that from your website?
Oh, if you go into actionresearch.net, okay, so onto education action, and just there, so in the what's new section, and what I usually do is here, this is the paper, this is one I actually produced for today to say what I was, believing. Usually what I do is then I add the video of the actual presentation so people can connect to it. But if you click on that, all of those living posters come up, and you can connect with anybody because we've given their emails, they've got little 1 minute or 2 minute video clips explaining what they're doing and their values. But also that sense that when you're asking about the nature of living theory, you'll see that in the Jack Whitehead's writing section, you'll be able to go into explicitly, the papers that say, well, this is my understanding of how each individual can generate their own explanation of their influence. Because each person in this room has got, and young people, enormous depth of embodied knowledge, which as you were in a space where you could actually offer some of that, it was emerging. For Paula to be able to show the nature of your influence as you're helping them to do that, educationally, for me is profoundly important. So, are we okay with that? Is there anybody that wants to make a final point before we pack in, because we've got lunch? Right?
No,
you sure?
I guess we'll leave time for people to follow up with us.
Yeah,
Individually.
that's great.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank
It's so fascinating, just taking everything in and just letting it sink in.
you. Good.
It's